Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Evolution. Organic evolution is the sum total of adaptive changes from pre-existing that have taken place over a long period of time, resulting in diversity of form, structure, and function amongst organisms. The theories of evolution include 1. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection. 2. Jean Lamarck's inheritance of acquired characters. And 3. Modern evolutionary theories. Charles Darwin, Robert, from 1809 to 1882 in 1858, jointly published with Wallace the first work advancing the theory of evolution by natural selection. This theory was based on the following facts. 1. Species have abilities to produce large number of offspring. 2. Into the environment with limited resources. 3. Leading to competition by these offspring. 4. The survivors must have inherited the useful trait. 5. They then reproduce and pass on these good traits to their offspring. 6. Those that could not survive the struggle die off or are eliminated. 7. There is great variability with population. 8. As this process continues through many generations. 9. The population gradually becomes better adapted to the environment. And 10. Leading to the origin of new species. Jean Lamarck, from 1744 to 1829. He was more concerned with the inheritance of acquired characters. For example, he postulated that the long neck of the giraffe evolved because the shorter neck ancestors stretched upwards for food, thus lengthening their necks. This theory was superseded by Darwin's. 1. Great changes in environment result in corresponding changes in the species. 2. These changes cause the organisms to form new structure or to adjust to the new prevailing environment. 3. Organisms then develop specialized characters by the use and disuse of organs. 4. Frequently used organs become well developed. 5. While the ores not used degenerate and become useless or vestigial. 6. The well-developed or dominant acquired characters are inheritable. Now, for the modern evolutionary theories, 5 things are involved. 1. Geological evidence. 2. Evidence from comparative anatomy. 3. Evidence from geographical distribution. 4. Evidence from embryology. 5. Evidence from genetics. Geological evidence states that the remains of animals and plants which were fossilized have revealed tremendously features pointing towards evolution due to the gradual changes of different structures they exhibit. Evidence from comparative anatomy. This states the resemblance in the pentadactyl plan, that is the 5 limbs of vertebrates, point to the fact that it must have emanated from evolution of descendants. Evidence from geographical distribution. This states the migration of some animals is always associated with a gradual adaptation and consequent variation from the organism in its former location. This might show in the structure of the limb bones or the shape of the vertebral column. Evidence from embryology. At the early stage of embryonic development, organisms of the same class but of different species look alike. In the later part of development, the difference now becomes very clear. Evidence from genetics. Virtually, all organisms synthesize proteins by the use of same genetic code. Different species share something in common by having large blocks of identical genetic materials. Evolutionary trend in plants. 1. We have the prokaryotes. This include the phytoplanktons. 2. We have the eukaryotes. This include the algae, the spirogyra. 3. The bryophyta. 4. The trichiophyta. These include conifers to flowering plants. Evolutionary trend in invertebrates. 1. The protozoa, which are unicellular. 2. The coelenterata, which include the hydra. 3. The platyhelminthes, which include the flatworms. 4. The nematoda, these include the roundworms. 5. The annelida, these include the earthworms. 6. The arthropoda, these include insects, the most numerous. 7. This includes the mollusca, for example snail. 8. The echinodermata, example is the starfish. Evolutionary trend in vertebrates. 1. Pixies, example is the fish. 2. Amphibians, examples are frogs and toads. 3. Reptiles, examples are snakes and leaders. 4. Aves, examples are birds. 5. Mammalia, example man. Some adaptive features possessed by some animals. For the fish has lateral line to detect vibrations, sound, pressure in water. There is a presence of streamlined body for easy movement in water. Eggs float in water. Presence of fins and tails for easy movement in water, and etc. Some adaptive features in birds include 1. Presence of features which includes a layer of air and thus keeping the bird warm. Presence of fat which helps to reduce heat loss by radiation. In sunbird, the beak is long, slender and pointed. All help the bird to obtain nectar. Presence of wings for flight, etc. Some adaptive features possessed by toads include 1. The presence of long sticky tongue for catching its prey. 2. Presence of long hind limbs. Some adaptive features for the lizard include 1. Possession of scales to reduce desiccation. 2. Laying of eggs in the soil to prevent desiccation. 3. Long neck which enables them to move their heads independently of their bodies and to catch their prey without moving, etc. Adaptive features of snails include 1. Presence of hard calcareous shells to prevent desiccation. 2. Secretion of shiny mucus during unfavorable conditions. 3. Possession of muscular feet for movement. 4. Presence of tentacles, etc. Adaptive features in insects include 1. Presence of exoskeleton of chitin to prevent desiccation. 2. Possession of wings for flight. 3. Presence of walking legs. Some adaptive features in some plants include 1. For the cactus, there is a presence of thick stem or tissue to conserve water. 2. There is a presence of spike to ward off enemies and reduce transpiration. 3. There is absence of leaves to reduce transpiration. 4. There is a possession of greenish stem for photosynthesis. Lastly, every organism is structurally and functionally adapted to its environment. Sometimes, the behavior or modes of action of some organisms help them to live successfully in their environment, called behavioral adaptation. Nevertheless, whatever form of adaptations that organisms may take help them to survive in their various habitats.